My name is Tyler Royke. Welcome to my channel. Today we're in my Corvette Z06 and I'm going to share with you the 3 reasons why I never plan on selling my 2008 C6 Z06. The first reason is the engine. The Corvette C6 Z06 has the most powerful naturally aspirated engine ever put in a Corvette to this date. With a big block 427 engine that's 7 liters, made it to a 6-speed manual gearbox. I think of it like a modern version of a classic recipe. The second reason is the value. Performance-wise, you get a 505 horsepower supercar capable of speeds upwards to nearly 200 miles per hour. In terms of price, you can get a clean, fairly low mileage example in the low to mid $30,000 range, and it's a ton of car for the money, even by today's performance standards. And ultimately, this car represents an end of an era as far as Corvettes goes. Chevy recently switched the Corvette to a mid-engine configuration, so it's likely that this will be the last naturally aspirated big block Corvette in this classic configuration with the engine in front of me, and like I mentioned earlier, with a manual 6-speed gearbox. See, the ZR1s, both the C6 and the C7, as well as the C7 Z06, may all be more powerful than this car, but they're all forced induction. They're all supercharged, while this is a naturally aspirated engine. That's what makes this car special. It's the most powerful naturally aspirated Corvette you can get, and even if in a future variant of the C8 or a future generation, even if they make a car that's more powerful, naturally aspirated, it's not going to be in this configuration. It's not going to be manual. It's not going to have a big block V8. So it's going to be a different experience. I'm not arguing that this is better. I'm simply stating from a fact that this is the pinnacle of a classic style of car that is never going to exist again. And for me, there's a lot of value in that. Long term, as I look at what I would like my car collection to be, this car has a place in it for me. The third reason I never plan on selling my Corvette C6 Z06 is the experience. It's a fun car to drive, and it has a pleasantly smooth ride, considering how raw of a performer it really is. And it's surprisingly practical in terms of reliability. I mean, it's a Chevy, and even in terms of metrics that I didn't particularly buy this car for, and I didn't particularly even care about when I bought this car, such as the luggage space. See, there's a sizable trunk space. It's got an amazing amount of usable space for being the supercar it is, if you ask me. And then even the miles per gallon, which is probably the last thing I looked at when I was even buying this car. I don't think I even looked at it, to be quite honest with you, but I've come to find out in my ownership that this car will get up to 30 miles per gallon highway if you're just cruising along in 6th gear, somewhere between 60 and 70 miles an hour on the highway, which is pretty incredible to me. And then also for me, part of the experience is I just love the aesthetics of this car. I mean, it's truly a beautiful design, and this is and I know it's strictly an opinion, which you may or may not agree with, which is fine, but in my perspective, this is the sexiest car available for the price. I love the low stance of the car with the wide fenders and overall the beautiful aesthetics of the design as a whole. I think it has incredible proportions, and for me, Jetstream Blue just makes it game over as far as specs go. When I saw this car in Jetstream Blue when they first came out with this color on the Z06, I want to say late 2007, I saw it and I just fell in love. Literally the first time I saw a C6 Z06 in this spec, I probably stood there for literally 20 minutes gawking and just admiring every angle of the car. So for me, it's just the perfect spec for the ultimate naturally aspirated Corvette that is ever going to be made. And so those are the three reasons why I never plan on selling my Corvette C6 Z06. And additionally, a couple of things in particular that I would add to those three things, just as a kind of aside. This car has some level of sentimental value to me. It was the very same car that I picked my wife up in on our very first date, which was within, I want to say, 2 weeks of me actually buying this car. Timing wise, I bought the car. I remember texting my wife the day I was picking up this car in Colorado, and it was 2 weeks later that we actually went out for the first time before we started dating. And so there's definitely some sentimental value into the memories I have in this car. And now, I personally don't believe in keeping cars for sentimental value. At one point in my life with my first car, I was kind of in a decision mode of, whether or not I was going to own a car and keep it for sentimental value. I ultimately decided not to. So I'm of the stance that you don't really need to keep a car for sentimental value. But having said that, this car has, with the three other things I mentioned, it has so many reasons going for me to actually keep it and hold on to it long term. And another thing that I would like to mention is just in relation to other Corvettes, I don't see this as being the last Corvette I'll ever own. Even if I decide to keep it, there are several other Corvette models that I would really love to own. And that list includes the C6 ZR1, which is the ultimate version of the C6, not naturally aspirated, but just in general. And I like the C7 Z06, I always have. And then the C7 ZR1 is just incredible, and I love the C8 actually. I haven't seen one in person yet, but everything I see about it, I can give it 2 thumbs up. It has my full approval. I would love to own a C8. So there's at least 4 other Corvettes that are on my list as far as cars I would like to own, but I don't see myself selling this car prior to that point. So I believe at some point along the way, sooner or later, you're going to see me with 2 Corvettes in my garage. So stay tuned, because it's going to happen at some point. And this wasn't on my list initially either, but it kind of goes back to the point value-wise. I don't see this car losing much more value, if at all. And really, I think the if at all part really just has to do with the condition and mileage. My car is relatively low mileage. I wouldn't call it low mileage, but it has about 48,000 miles. I bought it with 37. I've had it for over 2.5 years. I don't drive it as much as I honestly should, but having said that, they only made about 2,000 C6 Z06s in Jetstream Blue, which is the color of mine. There's probably a lower number out there that still have a clean history and are also relatively low mileage, which again, with Corvette owners, I know there's so many out there that probably still have 10,000, 20,000, or even less miles on them. So mine's not that special by any means, but essentially this car, I've had it 2.5 years and it has not decreased in value since the time I've owned it. I actually believe that if I did want to sell it, I got a great deal on it, but I could sell it for more than I bought it for at this point in time. So I think the value's flatlined on this car as long as the condition and mileage don't change significantly. But all that being said, ultimately, those are the reasons I never plan on selling my 2008 Corvette C6 Z06. So expect to see much more of this car if you subscribe to my channel, which you should if you haven't already. I promise to deliver the best content possible to you. I promise to continually get better in the process of it. And I promise to take you along my journey in life and cars if you stay connected with me through the process. So hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, like the video. And with that, I'm out, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Just put out an Instagram video on the 3 reasons I never plan on selling my 2008 Corvette Z06. Check it out and subscribe to my channel while you're at it.